Let's close out here and work our way down a little bit on all the features that we have here in the sidebar on this left. Now, you know the top hamburger menu, that is going to give you access to the content management system. And this is an area we will spend a lot of time with, especially when you get to pro, blogging, stories, pop-ups, and alerts. And I'm just reading the list over there. But there is a lot that happens here in the CMS system. Under this, you are familiar probably now by the area Add Elements. And you can click on this plus as well as the plus that appears on the page to bring in the elements. And the elements are the content that you build out your page with. Let's bring back all the elements and have a quick look at everything that is free here. So what I will do, I wish there was a select all so we don't have to go and click on each and all of them. But currently, that's what we're going to do. So I'll click here and select. Then we have grid as well as social here at the bottom. And as you know, when I say done here and I bring them all back, we're going to have these guys with the little pink dot, which tells us they are pro and we cannot use them in the free version. Scroll down on the page and I think we've got a block here open, and let's go through them very briefly so you have an idea of what each of them does. Text element, that one you understand, it's going to bring in text and you can make headings out of it or paragraphs. Next to it is the button. Every time you ask people to interact on your site, whether they're going to leave you a message or click to another link, we refer to it mostly as a call to action, to take action. And the button is the easiest way to get people to take action on your website. And that's very important because you want people to interact with you, either leave you a message or give you their email address, sign up for a special, or buy something from you. Another one that's very super popular is the icon. And you have a big library of icons that you can use. Let me add a block here at the bottom so we can put all of this in the middle and not have to keep it there at the bottom of the screen. Next to the icon is the image element, and we've worked with that before. Depending on the container, this can be big, you can resize it, and you can bring in your images. And that is what makes a website and web page very colorful. Next to the image is audio file, one that I've never used. And this gives us the SoundCloud link that you can drop in here. In the free version, you get access to SoundCloud. So you upload whatever audio you have on SoundCloud, drop the link here, and you style it out in case you need audio like a podcast. Video, though, is one that does appear to be popular on many websites. And there you link YouTube. And I think the other one is Vimeo. You have the type of YouTube, Vimeo, as well as a URL. And videos, very popular. Next to this is one that I've used now a few times, the spacer. I really enjoy the spacer. Very flexible, especially when we go into responsive design, like for the tablets and the mobiles. Spacer is followed by line, one that I also like to use a lot. And this is mostly a design choice. If you like using lines in your design, of course, you're going to drop line in here all the time. But if you're not much of a liner, then you're not going to use it. The line does have a nice feature here, and this can be used for above and subtitles, is that you can add a text in between your line. You can also place it on the left and right like so, or you can add a icon. And this gives it that little effect of, well, another kind of divider that you can use on your page. Nice little feature. Next to line, one that is also very useful on your Contact Us pages is the map. And I really enjoy the map feature in Brizy. First of all, I don't have to bring in any API or any kind of settings or key. It's already there. I can just use it as is. And I think this map is pretty decent. It works very well. And I really don't think you need too much more. People sometimes want to go very spectacular with their maps, but I think just having a map on your contact page so that people can click from here and go to Google Maps on their phone, more than enough. You don't need to do it directly from the website. This one I really enjoy. Embed, and we may cover this in one of the video tutorials a little bit more in depth. You can see it says here, paste your HTML code here. As we don't touch coding, and as I don't believe it's necessary for most of the websites we'll be making here, this area you're going to avoid. There are people who like to do some low coding or coding, and they will bring in stuff here. And sometimes when you work on other platforms and you want to bring in like a text chat or a service or social proof, you will need to drop in some coding on your page. You don't have to type it yourself or code it yourself. It's something that someone will give you. You can drop it in here. Like I mentioned, that we will cover in a video document, and in fact, all of these we will cover in more detail in video documents. Let's talk about probably, I would say, one of the features in Brizy that totally blows it out of the water compared to many other builders on the market, and that is the free form integrated element that comes with Brizy. The form is an essential feature on any website. It is where you can have people interact with you, you can collect email addresses, you can have people sign up for competitions, and you can also have mailer integration. If you have a distribution list on a platform such as MailChimp, all of those things are done via the form. And this generates leads, and we'll talk about that in the video document on forms and leads so you can understand how that works. Essentially, what it means is you get an integrated form. Many other builders on the market will give you excellent builder, but they don't give you a form element. So you need to go get a third-party form element and bring that onto your page, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But it is really convenient to have it here in Brizy, especially in Brizy Free, as this is usually a pro element. Of course, with this one, you get certain features that is only available in the pro version, but you're going to be so satisfied with the free one. And if you make, like I'm busy now with an engagement RSVP site, then this one is going to go all the way in giving you what you need. Lovely little element. Icon box is what I often refer to as an info box, and it doesn't look good like this because what we need to do is let's bring in a few columns. That makes it look a little bit more structured, and I will duplicate this column, and then from my icon box here I'll click and drag it into this column, and you'll see now it looks a little bit more shaped. And this is the idea with an icon box, is that you have an icon, the feature, whatever you're talking about, a little description, and if you want people to click through on that, you add a button. Something you may use quite a lot when you do features on your web page. The counter, let's drop that in here. Also something that you often see on websites. This is something I can use on my wireframe site, for example, for the Brizy Cloud wireframes. As I add wireframes, I can say, for example, currently I'm, I think, at 35, start and end at 35. And then when people come to my site, like, oh, 35, and next time maybe 100. And there's also a number of ways that this can be displayed on it and make some changes to it. Again, covered in the video document. Next to the counter is progress, I think. No, countdown. Countdown is very useful if you are having an event that's going to occur in the future and you want to display a countdown, or you have a competition or a promotion that you are running and you want people to see how much time they have left for that. Next to our countdown tabs, I'm a big fan of freeing up space on my website. Sometimes you have a lot of stuff and you don't want to click down. This is where you have a tab where you can bring in your content. What's nice about these elements are they are technically also containers. So here I have tab 1 and here I have tab 2. And you can see in tab 1 I have an icon and here I have a button. But essentially, this is just another canvas. So I can go back here and I can bring in text within this tab. I can bring in another button. I can bring a line and I can build out this tab. And you will see when I go to tab 2, it's still that button. And if I have a nice little setup here, all I do is click here on duplicate. Now I have another tab and I can rename it. And I can style this one out separately to the one in the front. A very convenient way to free up space and not have everything on a very big page, but you can present it in a nice orderly fashion. Next to tabs, this is the progress one that I've been talking about. Progress I see this a lot on websites, and often I think, hey, they are using it incorrectly. Progress really needs to show you something on how much and how far you've gotten in a project, like we've done this much, and you'll find some ways sometimes of progress, like my skill 80%. I'm not sure how you're going to use this as a progress bar to display your skill. Again, this is something that is useful for projects and you want to indicate to people how far it has gone. Or if you want to show some kind of graph, then you'll take this out, you'll take the percentage out, and you'll remove the colors on the right. There's a lot that you can do with this progress element. That's also a free element here in Brizy. Next to the progress is accordion. Accordion, just like tabs, is a method to display your content. And as you see, I click here, the first accordion will give me this little star, and the second one gives me the button. Again, I can go and add any kind of content in here. Let's say I want to bring in a line, drop some text, drop text there, an image. Let's just make this smaller, otherwise we won't be able to see the other tab. And I build out this accordion, and then when I click on the second accordion, I have more content. This is often used on websites for facts and questions, where you have people, facts and questions, frequently asked questions. When you have people who have some questions, you can type the question there. I selected, why do you like Brizy Cloud? And then you put your answer here. And then another question down here. We can say, how do I sign up for Pro? Things like that. And that is what an accordion is pretty useful for a frequently asked questions, not facts and questions. What else do we have here? And then we have the menu element that we had worked with previously, which you can build out a menu on your page. And I actually dropped it in that accordion. After this, there are a few pro elements that appear. There's a number here that I also really like. The carousel is basically a slider. The rating, we have gallery. Gallery is okay. It's not as awesome as I would like it to be. And then we have the pro menu, which gives you far more flexibility than the menu that we have here on this page currently. A playlist, if you want to have your videos in a playlist form. Table, oh, I love this one. This table element is done really well. Timeline, which is a nice feature. I don't really use it because it's really a pain in the neck on mobile devices. Switcher, very nice one, similar to our content containers. And then for those who are into Lottie. Then you see there's a login little element here. And the login is used in the pro version to get people to sign up to your site and become members. Yes, there is a membership feature built into Brizy, and mostly Brizy Pro. Then you see this little button here, Translate. Now, at this moment, Translate is not yet operational. It is included here. Let me show you. If you go to the CMS area and you select any page from your site. So if I go here, let's select Home. I simply click on Home, and this will open the settings and options for my home page. You will notice that here in the top bar, the second tab says Translate. You select that, you're going to get an option to add a new translation. Currently, though, this is not functional yet. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen here and how it will be done. It's not an operational feature, and I know some people on the Brizy forum have actually tinkered around with it, and then they said it's not working anymore. I guess it was just by pure luck they got some demo working for a short time. But it is not operational. Definitely something I'll be exploring once it's fully released, and we'll run a tutorial here so you can see how the translation will work. The translation feature, of course, is very important for multilingual sites. If you have more than one language that you want your site to appear in. And that is where you will use the translate element. This will be a switcher, I'm pretty sure. And if I drag it, let's see if I can, what happens if I drag it. So currently it's English, and then you cannot see that. But then there's also Italian, and I don't know what is the second one there. If I quickly, let's see, French. I quickly saw it's French. And this you usually will put there in a column next to your menu so that people at the top of your page, if they want to switch from one language to the other one, they can do it so with this switcher. Then the last one under our elements is posts. And this is something we'll cover when we look at blogging. The post element won't display anything at this moment because we haven't set up any posts and we don't have a blog running. So it's just going to be empty. In fact, it's going to look like there's nothing there. Yeah, there it is. Under this, we have our friend column and then row. And row is one I also do like to use. Row is a bigger container that contains your columns. Very nice, similar to columns, a lot of flexibility. And I like to use this one a lot if I have a few columns that I want to copy and I want to keep the same styling for the background and maybe drag it around. Then I will put them inside of a row. And also when I have multi-level functions that I want to accomplish, then I will do this because I can still put another column inside the column. And then it basically gives me 3 levels. It gives me the row container, the blue column, and then the pink column, 3 levels. Finally, at the very bottom, we have 3 elements that are for social media, Facebook, Twitter, and comments cannot be used in this free version. And those are all the elements. They're not that much at this moment when you look here in the sidebar, which is great. Often people will look at the amount of elements and go, oh, we need so much more. You're going to find that text, button, icon, image, form, spacer for me, and then line for me. These are the ones you're going to use most of the time. The rest, you're going to use them for specific cases, but not all the time. And that is why when I'm working like this, especially when you're working in the free version, don't be seduced by these little pink dots. Go ahead and just edit them away. Click on edit and I'll deselect them. I know I'm not going to be using them. And that saves me a little bit of scrolling. When I want to bring in elements, I don't have to scroll up and down every time. I've cleared up real estate. Everything is nicely accessible in one go.